And up next is someone who I think it would be easier to write a list of service positions he hasn't had versus those that he has had. This guy has been everywhere from, World Board, Human Resource Panel, region, zone, group, area, you name it, he's done it. And I'm really blessed that he's in my life today. He claims he's from Chicago, but in fact he lives over the border. But we don't hold it against him too much because we love him too much all the same. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Jim B.
Thank you, Louis. I'm an act named Jim. So I say that I live in a far north suburb of Chicago, and I am a grateful recovering member of Chicago and the Midwest Zone. And I agree with you, Louis. I sincerely enjoy serving with you, Patty. You are a blast. I long for when we can get back to some semblance of normalcy and meet face to face as a zone, because I look forward to serving with you and being with you. And I appreciate that you did not do like, unfortunately, a lot of delegates do. Their term ends and we don't see them at the zone. So thank you for continuing to show up. But yeah, you did fabulous. So I always enjoy listening to you share. I'm the kind of guy who I don't think about what I'm going to say. So I don't know what's going to come out either. But anyway, I did want to start off by my daughter-in-law got me this shirt. It looks backwards and when I'm viewing it. But anyway, my daughter-in-law. So this is somebody, when we talk about recovery, this is somebody that entered into the family I'm a part of after I got clean and who appreciates that I'm in her life, and she got me this shirt. And she appreciates NA and what NA's done for me and countless others, that I could be present in her life. But I am in a part of the world where a couple days ago, we got about 8 inches of snow, and it's been snowing all day today. I got about another 5 inches, and I love the seasons. I take my dogs out every day in the evening and stuff for a walk, and they love it. And for those who aren't from a part of the world where that occurs, there's just something to me when you go out, it's white everywhere, and it just blankets. That's the way I can describe it. It blankets everything. There's like this muffled sound, like it's so calm and peaceful, and they're like it's like it evaporates the noise. It's just beautiful. But so I've been watching this snowfall, and I'm just kind of in this pretty cool mood with all that, considering everything all of us have maybe been through or experienced in the past year. I don't always hear people talk about what the year's been like for them. I know it affects a lot of us differently. I don't know where everyone falls in different spots on the spectrum about the importance of what we're doing versus maybe it's being exaggerated, wherever you might sit or feel. I just know it's been like nothing any of us have ever experienced in our lifetimes. And I could say that just through experience. There's a lot that goes on in the world, but it is rare when there's something that hits everybody in a global nature. And you can look at like in the past, I mean, they talk about over 100 years ago, the last time something like this happened, where it affects the globe. That's pretty rare. There's a lot of things that go on in life. And I can say up until the last year of my life that, yeah, there were things going on in the world, but man, my life just, it was always what it was. I have a career, I have a family, I do service, I travel, I did all these things, even though things went on in the world. It wasn't until this past year that this no matter what I think, believe, feel about anything that's going on, it affected me. And it affected everybody. How often can we say that there's people that live lifetimes that don't go through something like this? So this is pretty impactful. And so I look at, like, I grew up in a house. I have some very loving parents. So I'm the kind of guy who I have nothing to blame my addiction on. I came from a loving family. I have a brother a year older, a twin sister, a sister a year younger. We all grew up together and went through life because we were all around the same age. We experienced a lot of the same things. And I have parents that have been together approaching 60 years. They've been married, and they love each other more today than they ever have. That was my upbringing. That's who I had to influence me in life. And my dad was as positive a person I ever met. He always looked at the glass as half full. That's how he approached life. Whatever life dealt you, he would look at, okay, what can I learn from this and grow? And this is the parents I grew up with. And I still wound up using drugs in NA and with nothing to my name when I got here. I got clean when I was 19. In the early 80s, that was young. I see people getting clean pretty young today, but back then it's like, I wound up at a halfway house and everybody was like the age of my parents there. It was just really bizarre. And I came from this upper middle class family, from a loving home. I didn't know about divorce. I didn't know about abuse. I didn't know a lot of things. And I wound up in this halfway house and I'm hearing all these stories and experiences of people that were just foreign to me. But anyway, I guess the way I'm saying it was such a different world for me back then than it is today. And like Patty was sharing, it's like this whole Zoom or platforms that you may be on that are different from how we've done meetings. I work in the tech field, so to me it wasn't a stretch. And now I'm being exposed to things like I've never been before in my recovery. People are asking me, like, where I was today, or were you here? Are you coming? You joining this? My life is full. I get asked to do so many things today. And so, like, after today, this evening, I'm going on another call, another meeting, because I got invited to it. But that's the beauty of NA and what we do here. And when I talk about our gratitude, when I think about our gratitude speaks, that's what we do here. We care for each other and we pull each other in and we change each other's lives. And I am forever grateful for that. I'm so grateful that I'm clean this past year going through what we went through. And the program teaches us to adapt and to continue to strive and make the best out of any situation. And that's what you've given me, those tools. And that's what I've done for the past year. And now I sit on these calls like Patty was sharing. I mean, there's people that I haven't seen in forever. And there they are. They're sitting in one of these meetings. I don't know why, but I got asked to do a read lead at a meeting in Washington State. And now I keep getting invited back. It's like my adopted state now. I mean, I keep getting these texts like, hey, this person's sharing this Friday. Would you come and be a part of? I mean, and there's people I see that I haven't seen in a while. It's just pretty incredible. But I guess, what I'm feeling, what I'm sharing, what I'm saying is that it's so impactful what NA has done in my life, and especially what's going on this past year, that it's helped me remain positive and stay involved. I'm like Patty, I have to be doing something. When one service commitment ends, it's like I'm doing something else. I've always done something. And it's because I know how I am as an addict. And I know that it's so easy to drift away. I mean, that's my natural state. And so I stay involved. And so what happens, people invite me to do things and they pull me out of whatever isolation I might be in. but that's a good thing. I mean, what we're doing here is a good thing. The U.S. zone's coming together to put this on this weekend. This is pretty cool. And I'm happy to be associated with that. And I know a lot of the people that are involved in doing this kind of stuff. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to mention. This stuff growing out of my face. This has been since I've been sheltered in place. So in March is when I went full-time remote. And I just, I got a little hippie in me anyway, you know. I was born in the wrong era. I was born in the 60s, but I kind of took on a lot of the hippie kind of vibe from that. But anyway, it was kind of my rebelliousness. Like, okay, this is like, I don't like this, and this is happening, and this is just my thing. I just like, okay, I'm just not going to shave or trim or anything. So here we go. It's just kind of a sign of the times, I guess. But anyway, I am so grateful that I am a member of NA, and what you people have done to turn my life around. So I was this 19-year-old punk kid, didn't know which end was up. I never even started life. I barely made it out of high school. I made it through a year of college before I got kicked out. I lost my license. Never really was able to hold a job. It's like my life was over, and it didn't take long before I wound up here. I was that addict who wasn't going to make it to the age of 20. The way I used. And so when I got here, it was like, I didn't know anything about life. I didn't know what this was about, but what do we do here? We pull people in. We show people that this way of life works, and how we do that is we just be ourselves, and we give freely what the program's given us. We give it back, and what we're giving back is like, NA gave me my life, and so now I'm using that to give back to NA, to others, like people did to me. And it's such a beautiful premise. I mean, it's just like, and it's so disorganized, and it's so not perfect and informal, and it works. I mean, it changes people's lives. So I was on this call two days ago. An addict was sharing about the good we do. And this was personal to me, because this addict was sharing because they were talking about, I did a hospital and institution meeting when they were new, and they went through that program, and then wound up in a halfway house 1,000 miles away. And then four years later came back to our region, and happened to go to there was a convention going on that week. This person showed up at the convention and saw me there and said, hey, they started listening to me, said, you sound familiar. And then they realized I was the guy who shared in that H&I meeting, and it made an impact on them, and they've been clean ever since. And his whole theme was the good we do. We don't even realize the good we do sometimes. And then he asked me to be a sponsor, and we're good friends still today. But that's an example of, okay, I don't always know, like when I make a commitment, be of service, go do that H&I meeting, whatever, I just bring myself, and I try to be genuine. I try to really share what the program can do for you, because look what it's done for me, and I share about my experience. And I got to tell you, I mean, I went on and I got clean. I went to meetings. I went back to school. I got a degree. I have a career. I am like the top architect where I work now. And I started out in an entry-level position there when I first started as a computer operator. I've been married and with my wife for 35 years. I have 2 kids. I have grandkids, and this was a 19-year-old kid who, if I didn't hear the message, the next time I used could have been lethal. I wouldn't have been here. So the good we do, my gratitude is I have a life today. I have a life worth living today. And I have people in my life. I have a granddaughter who never saw me use. And I've been there in her life since she was born. And she's 17 now. She drives now. And she still comes over every week. Now, with the current situation, we keep our distance. But when it was warmer out, we'd sit outside. And then we did it in the garage for a little while. It started getting really cold. So now we have a big house, so we set it up so everybody's safe and all that. But when I was 17, I wasn't like hanging out with my grandparents. I mean, this is a real testament of this. She knows she's loved, and she knows she's cared about, and she's important, and her life is important. And she knows that because of you people instilled that in me. And now I'm giving it back. So, I mean, I think to me, the ultimate service, the ultimate 12-step is when we talk about practicing these principles in all affairs. I go out in the world I'm part of now, and people depend on me. I'm reliable now. They look for me to show up. They enjoy being in my life. Even where I work, I got respect today. People respect me because they can rely on me, and I'm persistent and consistent, and all these things you people gave me. And so she knows that. She knows that she's loved, and she'll come over and she'll just talk up a storm. I mean, she is so free. She knows she can come see her grandparents. Recovering addicts, been in recovery. My wife's been clean longer than me. And she could just tell us whatever she wants. And she's free to be herself. And my God, what a freedom. And that all stemmed from here. That's what you did to me. You let me be free to be myself. So when I talk to people, and when I try to like look at like when people are struggling or they don't know which end is up or is NA for me, or when I talk to new people or whatever, I'm like, or people have been around a while, and you know, we have our ups and downs. It's like, so what invigorates me is that I go back to the message from day one when this program was started was, we have a gift. And when I look at it that way, like I've been given a gift, it's that thing that it talks about in our literature about, my God, my life was the end of my using. I wouldn't have wished it on anybody. And I can tell you, I don't know what the purpose of life was. I didn't know what being alive was about. I said, if this is what life is, I'm just going to use till I die. What is the point? And then I get into recovery and I hear things like, we will learn to know that everything we've been through before we got here is really a gift and can be used to not only help ourselves, but those around us. Our experiences, the things we've gone through will be a benefit to someone. And I'm like, are you kidding me? All this heartache I went through, failed relationships, hurting people that love me. But it's true, it's the orthodox of this program. It's the paradox. It's that surrender to win. It's those things that don't seem to make sense. But when we look at it, so now all of a sudden I realize, oh, you know, I was an addict who used every day of my life before I got here. And I couldn't do anything. I could not keep a job. I could not keep a license. I could not maintain relationships. I could not reciprocate love to anybody. People tried to love me and I couldn't love them back. That's how lonely and in despair I was when I got here. I was not capable of loving another human being. And I got here and people said, you have a gift. Those experiences you can use to help other people. And then I realized, oh yes, addicts use drugs. Addicts use until they die. Addicts don't get clean. And I'm a clean addict. What a gift. I got something and I got to share this. And I don't know if your experience was, but my first year of recovery, I wanted to tell the whole world. I wanted to be a counselor. I wanted to get in there. I wanted to shout from the rooftops about this program and how it changes people's lives. And then I realized that's my purpose. When I sit there and wonder, why am I alive today? What is the point of life? What is the point that why did I get clean and the other guy didn't? I got friends I used with, they didn't make it here. Why was I unique, special? Well, what I realize is NA gave me purpose. I have a purpose to be alive. There's a reason I'm alive. So I mean, to me, it's like technology, you gotta love it. It's wonderful when it works. But anyway, so this is what I try to share. None of our lives are wasted. We have a gift. It's precious. We have something that so many people don't have. There's so many acts out there that can't get clean, don't know how to get clean, and we are. We're raging successes. This is what my sponsor, when I got clean, this is what he shared with me. He said, you are a raging success. You're staying clean. Addicts don't stay clean. And so that's the message I share. I have a purpose today. I have a reason to be clean, to show up every day, because just like that addict who shared about 4 years later, he saw me at that convention. He said, just the way I was, who I was, that I cared enough, that I shared, was enough to set his life on a different trajectory. And he's still clean today. And that's my experience. This has been quite an experience. I just wanted to express just how, even when life doesn't seem like there's an end to what we're going through right now, we're still making a difference. We're changing the world. So thanks again for letting me share.
Thanks so much, Jim. Great to see you as always.